So
Oh yeah,
Mel, can I interrupt for a second? So you have on your site, I've shared it on my Twitter account, but just so people, if they don't know who Mel K is or any of this stuff you're talking about, it is on your site. And the thing about Mel that why I love you is a lot of people have theories and conspiracies online. Yours is actually documented. It's government documented papers. You just put it on the site. You can do your own research. None of this is bullshit, to be clear. Your stuff is vetted. And I've seen you speak a lot about the people in charge, and I've actually seen you show a graph. Like you actually have named these people. I know we can't really do that easily on this podcast, but for the sake of our listeners, could you just give like a 5-minute description of the strata of that and who really is at the top? Because I keep asking this every episode. Who is they? You actually know who they is, which is profoundly important.
It's crazy. Yeah, it keeps me up at night. And they have evolved in our country as well. And Roseanne, you're right. I call it what we're dealing with now is the Fourth Reich. And if you really know what the Third Reich's goals were, you would know that that's absolutely true. Just this one is so dangerous. It reminds me of the quote in 1984 where they talk about where he's explaining what the state is, power for power's sake only. Yes. You know, and even in 1984, he says like the Nazis and the Russian communists, they were weak. They didn't know what they were doing. We know what we're doing. And that's how I feel, because this iteration of the global government, global governance, they call themselves. Agenda 2030 is their roadmap. The 17 development goals are their tactics to get us there, so that we, in the inverted language we talked about before. But what they are is this group of billionaire oligarchs. They don't have an allegiance to any nation, to any people, to any flag, to any religion. This is not what's going on here. This is a group of people that run the planet as if they are the easiest way to say it is that they are the parent company of planet Earth, and we're all lucky to live here. Mm-hmm. And we have one of those, a parent company of the United States, that allows us to live here. And this is how they function, and this is what they really think. There's books like Tragedy and Hope, and some of these other books that it's actually insiders in their world that write this. So when you ask me what is going on, I say the biggest fraud in my lifetime, certainly in the last 100 years on this planet, is the United Nations.
Yes. No kidding. Bingo.
The United Nations.
Oh my God, that's really what I wanted to get into with you, because
that's why Mel's here.
Yeah, because here we sit, and I always wanted you to be in this space at my museum, which is a museum for free thinking women. But anyway, so now we're hooked up by satellites and whatnot. So we're together here, and we're not to be constrained by any popular myths nor lies. We just say what we assess from the information presented to us, right?
Yeah, well, the best part is that these people don't hide it. Like Jake's saying, that's why I put it on my website. They're not hiding this. They never did. First of all, you have to understand that the League of Nations failed for every reason it should have, because it told you exactly what it was. Well, what came out of that? The United Nations, funded by Rockefeller with the help of the Crown, Henry Kissinger, and Zig Brzezinski. And they came up with a plan for how to get us into global governance. And they knew that it would take a long time. These were strategic thinkers. We don't have people like this anymore, especially with the internet and technology. But, these people were aligned with the Council of Foreign Relations and the Chatham House which is the sister organization in the UK. They believe that they are super class. It says in their own paperwork and everything that they've ever put out there, they're above the people. Most of them go to the Poison Ivy League, or they're funneled in there, whether they deserve it or not, to be then groomed through different fellowships and all that stuff. That's the people
Sex
that
with
run
goats.
it. Yeah, exactly. Secret societies, they all get into that, and they believe that any sacrifice is worth it. But what they've constructed out of the United Nations, first of all, the people of America do not know that almost every major division in the United Nations at the very top is a member of the CCP. So a lot of people don't know that the United Nations is fully staffed at the highest level with the Communist Chinese Party. Terrible. And Gutierrez himself.
It's like it's so inverted and insane. It's just so completely insane. The most insane part for me was to, I'll let you continue where you stopped, but I really want to get to when Israel laid bare the tunnels in Gaza and what it showed about the UN. I really want to talk to you about that. But continue with your thought there.
Yeah, no, I mean, people should understand the United Nations and the World Economic Forum are one and the same. They have been. They are a public-private partnership. The biggest problem on planet Earth, and certainly in America, is this concept of public-private partnership. The public is not us.
Right.
The public are the people that control us.
Right.
The public are the people that deal with the public. But most people hear public-private partnership and they think, oh, it's the private industry and the public working together for, just like they think the United Nations is some kind of holding hands organization, which it's not. There have been more wars and more problems and more, conflict on planet Earth because of them, because their whole thing is create the problem, cause chaos and come in with the solution that they created before they launched the problem, like pandemic.
You know what that is in basic American parlance? That's a pimp working both sides of the street.
Absolutely. Get paid coming and going.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
No pun intended.
And to think about it that way is really important, because so if you start to realize that Kofi Annan, all the way that long ago, and the UN became one and the same, and they talk about this public-private partnership, which is really the multinational corporations, the international banking cartel, I call them, and this group of NGOs that connect to the United Nations. The United Nations, which I call this whole group the octopus of global control, as per Charlie Robinson's book. I think that's a great way to talk about it.
And it's anti-Semitic, they say.
Right.
Yeah, you heard that one, right? But this is above Jews. Just I want you to clear this up for everybody, because we're naming it today.
Oh yeah, no, I'm all over ADL and Media Matters as an anti-Semite. This has nothing to do with that. First of all, what you have to understand is that this was created by Kissinger, Rockefeller, Brzezinski, the Crown, and the real wealthiest people on planet Earth, which are all the way up to the Bank of International Settlements, the IMF, the World Bank, and the World Trade Organization. That is the financial system that runs the entire world.
That is the logos of the entire rotten fucking satanic machine.
Oh, you see